The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary-related entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, where each week you will find a stalking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and their staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's Cabinet and Appliance Showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. For those of you who may be listening for the first time to this weekly show, during the hour we share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. And today we're going to continue, as we have the last 2 weeks, in talking about April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. And we've got two more agencies here with us to help us learn a little more about why this has become such a big thing. That's the only way I can express it. It's a major situation. So who wants to start us off? We've got...
Hi,
Susie. We're pointing fingers in here, by the way. We have Adele Bagallo Lorena. Aha, didn't see the last one. Of Maui Family and Support Services, and Paul Tonneson of the Friends of the Children's Justice Center. You are two of the many partners in the Ho'oikaika partnership, which is kind of, well, you explain it to us.
Yes, Ho'oikaika is a collaboration of a lot of nonprofit agencies on Maui who are focusing on preventing child abuse and neglect in our community. FCJC and Maui Family Support Services were two of the four agencies who started Ho'oikaika when we realized the need to, we're working on the same cause. Let's get together so that we can have bigger voices in making sure that we help the community in increasing awareness about the importance of protecting our children and helping our families, helping the parents in making sure that their children are healthy and safe.
Very good. Paul, you want to add?
No, it's a great partnership. We were just having a discussion because all three of us sitting here, and hence why we have this radio show, belong to Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. And Susie would have more of that, but I think it's close to 30 years, right?
Yes.
Okay. And just touching on how important collaboration is. The Friends of the Children's Justice Center has been doing the proclamation for 20 plus years. 3 years ago, we decided through the Ho'oikaika partnership, how can we make this bigger and hit a broader audience, getting educational materials out to the general public. So we decided to invite preschools and collaborate with Month of the Young Child, which is put on by the county, and it's in front of the county building. It's actually Monday coming up at 9 a.m., and we have great entertainment. Uncle Wayne is coming up with the Howling Dog Band.
Oh, the Howling Dog Band, my favorite group.
And it's these kids, it's all preschoolers. We're going to have about 100 preschoolers attending, and they just love his entertainment. I mean, they just go crazy for it.
He does a lot of work with the libraries.
Yes.
So they all flock to the library when they hear he's coming.
It's amazing. He also does Keiki Fest, which is coming up.
Right.
But he is... he's great with the kids, and they just enjoy it. But this collaboration, 3 years ago, we used to have about 50 attendees, and mostly people in the service providers attend the proclamation. Now we have over 200, and it's become a community event, which is really nice, and a lot of outreach in that area. And we've actually got a lot of assistance. Wade was one of them. We had a filmmaker attend 1 year. And now he's been assisting all the nonprofits with creating different films. Maui Humane Society, that Wings of Aloha film, which is amazing. So, and that's the goal of the Ho'oikaika partnership. How can we broaden to the general community and get the education materials we need in their hands?
So now will all of the partners in this group have a booth or table or something to hand out literature? Or
We will
what-
not have booths.
What's the format?
But we will have gift bags or giveaways, and also like a gift bag for the children who will be participating in the event. And in that bag, we will have information for parents, for grandparents, for dads, aunties, and uncles to read, and learn about the different community resources that are available in our community, learn how to connect with each other, because that's one of the protective factors that we're promoting, is to increase the support system with each other and to reduce that isolation that parents experience when they are child rearing.
Yeah. And it's actually, we have one table, and Hawaii Kaika has their own literature, which was sponsored through the One Strong Ohana campaign,
Oh.
the Joyful Heart Foundation, and Hawaii Children's Trust Fund, and Hawaii Community Foundation. They are part of our fiscal sponsors for these events. So we've put together child-friendly, and then we've also got some great literature for the adults. It's about strengthening families. This is the real focus. I think a good way to say it is stop trying, everything, and I say this a lot, everything is punishment. But if someone's struggling and the child's being neglected or abused, you need to reach to the family dynamics and see what's happening within those dynamics. And it could be a quick, easy fix. It might be the lady has no car. She can't get to work, or whatever it may be, and someone can step in and help assist. Maybe they could watch the children or bring them over to their house after work or something like that.
Right.
So that's the whole focus of the Hawaii Kaika partnership, is
Right.
how do we strengthen families and rebuild them,
Right.
and give them the resources that are available through the community in Maui County.
Right. And not one agency can do this alone, and that's the importance of the collaboration, because families and our community has a lot of needs, and Maui Family Support Services cannot respond to all those needs. We need to partner to agencies like the Friends of the Children's Justice Center, the public agencies, through the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association, and that's how we can help increase that awareness.
Listening to the radio this morning, which I had plenty of time to do, I was sitting in traffic for 3 hours trying to get down the hill. I felt like I was in New York City, or like I was trying to go from Los Angeles to San Diego or something, Anyway, that's beside the point. But it leads me to listening to the radio, and they were talking about 49% of our families live paycheck to paycheck. And that's pressure in itself.
That's hard.
Any little thing that disrupts that flow of money through the family can cause an escalation in what we're talking about.
Correct.
Right.
And it can happen in any family.
Right.
Yep. And there's a lot of dynamics. There's, it could be, one of the spouses is ill with medical issues, and puts a financial burden on it. Drug abuse and alcohol, unfortunately, is a big factor in a lot of the dynamics.
It could be a loss of job. As we have heard, HCNS will be closing soon, and I heard on the other night that one of the hotels will be closing also. So losing a job is a big stress for any family.
Between those two organizations, it's over 1,000 people
Yes.
losing jobs this year that we know of already.
Yeah.
I was looking at one of the things that was handed out on the how you know someone is having a problem when you look at a child. Without knowing it, they display signs. What are the things that you should be aware of or pay attention to?
Well, one of the more concrete or visible sign could be bruises or scratches on, it could be on the face, it could be on the arm, it could be on the legs. But some indications you cannot see. It could be just the lack of affect on a baby or a child, or being aggressive to other children. That can be an indication as well. Or being not being able to attend school, not coming to school regularly. That's an indication that there's something that's going on in the family where they might need additional support.
And clothing, not being properly bathed, is another sign. Sometimes you don't know it, but some of these people are on the streets and they're still they're working, living out of cars.
Right.
You know, that's very popular here in Hawaii, unfortunately. But so they've got 3 kids living in a car, and they get to clean up with whatever they can get to hose it,
Right.
whatever's near them. But you know, that's another sign you'll see. We do a lot of clothing through the Friends of the Children's Justice Center. Last year we spent $67,000 to send children to Kmart that did not have clothing.
Wow.
Right.
Now, malnutrition is one of the things that they mentioned. Now, is that just the child not eating or not having food to eat?
It could be both. It could be undernourishment and just lack of food. They could be eating but not nutritious foods. It could be just fast food, easy to access kind of food, but lack of planning about nutritious meals. That's an indication. Going to school without having breakfast maybe, or I've heard of stories of children getting snacks from other kids because they don't have anything to bring to school. Those are really, just sad stories that happens, but that comes with limited resources that families might have.
Now, what should someone do if they suspect that there is child abuse going on in a family?
It's right here. We have
A neighbor or...
Yeah, they can go to hawaiikaikapartnership.com, or they can go to the mauicjc.org or mfss.org.
Yes.
Those are 3 websites that we have, prevention material available, what to look for. I mean, Child Welfare Service intake is a great resource, and a lot of people are afraid to get involved. They don't want retaliation. It's anonymous, and we always say it. If you're concerned about the child, there's probably a good reason. The child's welfare should come first,
Right.
and it should always come first. Yeah. So Child Welfare Service is, they do an intake, and they'll just walk you through it. They'll ask you just some information, where the child lives, what do you suspect, and they'll send an investigator out on Maui, and they'll go in and they'll evaluate the family. No one wants to break up families. And it could be a simple thing. The mom lost the job. She's just overwhelmed. She's now screaming at the kids, and the neighbors are hearing it. So it's a good intervention a lot of times. And the mom can just, she does, pride's a big thing for people.
Right.
And
she probably didn't realize she was doing it.
Right.
If she's in that state.
Right. So
Now, Child Welfare Services is a state agency.
state agency,
Okay.
right, Department of Health. And they come in and they send investigators out, and the investigators will evaluate the situation. If they feel they need to remove the child will be removed. They'll always look for someone within the family or a Hanai family that's meets the criteria to take the child, because naturally the child has to have a bed and certain things. If not, we have the foster care system here, which is great. We do not have an orphanage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Seriously, and that's amazing. These children don't get placed in a state facility with 6 beds in a room. They get put in homes continuously.
Other states still have those?
Yes.
They do.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you make a report, it doesn't end up in foster care or placement of the child in other homes. Sometimes they just need referrals to community resources, and also maybe just referring them to agencies like Maui Family Support Services, where we provide home visiting services as well as support groups for parents, teen parents, and other caregivers. So sometimes it's just connecting them to the right places and maybe answering their questions if they have any. If the matter or the concern is not that serious.
I see. On that note, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our Maui Nonprofit Executive Directors. Today we have two of them with us. We're talking about prevent child abuse in Maui County. We've got a big proclamation signing coming up, and celebration, I should say, on Monday, April 4th at the Maui County Building front lawn. What is that, from 9 to...
9 to about 10:30
Okay.
is the average.
Okay, so this is... Now, being on a Monday, who do you expect will come? I know that some of the kids get to come from the neighboring schools.
Believe it or not, it'll be in this Sunday's, there'll be a supplement about child abuse and neglect in this Sunday's paper. We get a lot of community members show up.
Okay.
And we have about 100 preschoolers. And then we have probably about a good 60 to 70 people within the working in the field of child abuse and neglect. And then we get a good 50, 60 people that could just come as community members.
Right. See what's going on. And
Yep.
Parents of the preschoolers, they're also encouraged to be the chaperone or to go with their preschoolers to
Gotcha.
this event. And it's really nice when parents volunteer. When my twins were in preschool, I used to do that, and I really loved it because the mayor or the representative of the mayor also reads a really nice book to the children, and he or the representative will interact with them, and they really have fun during that event.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's neat.
It goes back to strengthening families. We're trying to show the dynamics of healthy interaction with children. That's why the preschoolers are so important.
Yeah. Do we have any statistics as to, like some things we say 1 in 4 this is going to happen to, or something like that? Do we have statistics on?
Like sexual assault or
Yeah.
something like that? They have 1 in 4 females, 1 in 7 males. So it's pretty high. To what degree of sexual assault could just... I don't want to say simple molestation or touching, but,
Okay.
sometimes it's not as severe, but the statistics are pretty high.
Okay. And then child abuse, do we have any way to gauge that? 1 in 10 kids are going to be affected by abuse or something?
I wish I knew you would ask this question
Yeah.
so that we could have brought
Well,
statistics.
I wish I knew. I knew I would have too.
Well, right now we have over 200 children in foster care in Maui County at this present time
Right.
that have either been at the hands of abuse or neglect. The Friends served over 900 children last year with needs for the healing processes. That's basically what we're there for.
Right.
And so the stats are pretty high.
Sounds like it. Now, in some cases, it's a one-time thing.
It's a one-time thing.
In other cases, these poor kids have been living with this.
Right.
So that presents a whole nother issue.
It goes back to what Adele was saying. It's the resources. People don't know they're there. Like we did the haves and needs
Right.
at Maui.
Nonprofit
directors, right? And so many people needed things but didn't know someone else has them. That's the whole purpose. It's pretty much mirroring that type of collaboration. Is when we sit at a table, Maui police will be there or whatever. Someone will mention something of their programs, and they'll go, "Oh my God, we've been looking for that."
Yes. We encounter that a lot. And then our island, our community, we also have different cultures coming from different places.
True.
We have Filipino immigrants, and we have a lot of people who come from different places, and sometimes they don't know where to go, and it's really important for us to it's in our aloha spirit to welcome the new families, the new residents here, but sometimes they don't know where to go for resources, and that's our job to make sure that we all help each other and they know where to go for help.
When somebody comes to Maui as a new resident, whether they're an immigrant or just coming from another part of the country or the world. I guess that would be an immigrant. if they're new to Maui, how would they first learn about services like this? Are they given something? Is there a welcome to Maui kit? That there used to be, what was it, the neighborhood welcome to the neighborhood things, but I don't hear about that either anymore.
Well, I can speak about that because I moved to Maui in 1998. I was an immigrant. I was an adult immigrant, though not a child immigrant. And I can't imagine how, what children go through when they are uprooted from their home culture and go to a different culture. Fortunately, when I moved here, we had some kind of orientation at the U.S. Embassy and talked to us about what to expect and what not to expect, some of the basic rules and regulations. Even with that orientation, when I got here, it was a big culture shock. And so you go through that, and it takes time. It's a long process, and then you have uncertainties, whether you really want to stay here or you miss your home also. So you go through a lot. And then you look for your support system. There's a very strong Filipino community here, and they connect you to those community groups or associations. And so reach out to them. And that's how you can learn about what's happening in our community. That's how I did it. But then I also used family members who have been here for many years before we got here, and they were very helpful in connecting us to employment and schooling and training and so on.
So you were lucky.
Yes,
as
I was
as it
fortunate.
goes, you weren't by yourself. You had an ohana to work with.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Okay, because I often wonder, it's a strange new land. It's new rules, new regulations.
Yes, and there's the language difference.
True.
And also the different systems and the different culture. The sense of time here is different from back home. A lot of the regulations are not, that we have in the Philippines. We don't practice here. For example, putting your child in child restraint, a car seat when you ride in a car. That's not a strong regulation in the Philippines. And so I've seen a lot of, families getting, caught by police because of that. They're putting their babies on, their lap while
Right.
riding in a vehicle. And that can be construed as neglect.
Right.
Because you have to protect your child from a car accident by restraining them in a car seat.
Right.
And a lot of the families, when they just move here, they don't know that.
Interesting.
And the
That's
good
a good point, though.
Yeah, and the good thing with Hawaii Kaiko is we look at populations. The Filipino population has a good support system, and they've been here for a while, so they're pretty acclimated. But like the Micronesian community, we go out into those communities in various ways, and we get the literature out there, and we get the resources to them. And they're appreciative. We've reached out to them, a couple of years now already? And they really utilized a lot of things, because a lot of it's fair, too. Are they going to take my child away? Right?
Right.
They love
right.
they love their kids. They may be giving Simon or whatever. What's that little stuff you throw in the water that they can buy for 10 for 99 cents? Simon, right? But I'm just saying, maybe that's all they have that they can give to the children when they go into the supermarkets. So
And they may not know that that's not nutritious. You can't
Correct.
give your baby Simon every day.
Yeah,
And
right.
so it needs the, parenting education is
Right.
really, making sure that it's comprehensive. You talk about health, you talk about nutrition, you talk about, the social, emotional needs of the children.
yeah. But
Right.
that's a perfect example because, if they've got $10 and they got 4 kids and they need to feed them for 4 days or whatever, or
Make
5
it go
days,
as far as they can.
they can only get what they can get.
Right,
right,
right.
Now, when you do that, are you making a public presentation to them at some gathering, or they're invited somewhere to learn this, or how do you?
Generally, what we'll do is we'll look at the population. We'll try to find some leaders or respected elders in the population, and we invite them into some Hawaii Kaiko Partnership meetings and trainings. We arm them to go back into their community, because again, when and this is coming from them. they're fearful of a lot of things because they don't know all the laws. Some of them can't really speak English well enough to be able to read, into the laws here. So they're relying on like some of these people we're grabbing from that population to come in and guide them. And it's really worked out well, actually. So church presentations,
Yes, yes,
community events.
yes.
So,
Because many of them church is part of what brought them here, or what keeps them together
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
as a unit. Yeah. Interesting. That's good. That's good to know that that's going on.
and Susie, you had asked questions about, reporting
Yes.
and all that. We did some research and a lot of things, when people are afraid to report or don't know how to report, one of the questions, I don't want to interfere with someone else's family, and then, we can come back and tell them, the effects of child abuse are lifelong, affecting the future relationships, self-esteem, and sadly putting even more children at the risk of abuse in the cycles of their lives. Because and I cover this a lot, help break the cycle.
Right.
Because what happens is when people are brought up in environments, those are normal environments to them. So if someone gets angry and you get slapped, we talked about this a year ago at this
Right,
time.
right.
Peterson, the football player,
Right.
beat his kid with a stick, opened wounds on the child, and he did nothing wrong because his dad did it to him.
Right.
Right? So that when you get angry, you pick up a stick.
Right.
Okay? So, you're not interfering. You're actually possibly helping to stop that cycle
Right.
from going into the next generation.
Right.
Because
yeah.
we've got such success stories of children that have been placed into foster care that are night and day now.
Right.
They've realized, no, this isn't acceptable. This isn't okay.
Right.
So that's a big thing. And the other, what if I break up the home? No one wants to break up a family. And Child Welfare Service comes in, and they're really not coming in to break up a family. They're not coming in and saying you're doing a bad job, you're a bad parent. They're coming in and saying, here's your struggles, here's some opportunities. These are resources for you to go. And it's called voluntary case management,
Right. Right.
which is a great program through Child Family Services. And what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll work with these families to strengthen them, to rebuild them, to give them the necessary sources. And
Right.
then another fear is they're going to know it was me that called.
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
you know.
Retribution.
Well, which is understandable, because if you've got a guy beating his wife or beating his children, and he has severe anger issues, and he's not the nicest neighbor to you, and then you're calling and reporting him, naturally there's fear. But it's reporting is anonymous. You don't even have to give your name.
Correct.
So that's really important, and because the abuser cannot find out who made the call. Okay, that's where Child Welfare again steps in and just says, okay, we've deemed that these are their struggles. Maybe the child needs to come out for a little bit, and we'll do a reunification down the road. Maybe we just need to bring in a group and work with the family and help strengthen them, which is part of Ho'ikaika.
Right.
And it won't make a difference what I have to say, right? That's a big thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it does. If you have a gut feeling something wrong, better safe than sorry. You're talking, unfortunately, I was watching these things because of my profession today. How many kids have died in the last week in America? They're going to execute a guy tonight that shot his 2 little daughters through the head.
Oh.
And that goes back to how do we get to these people prior? And that's, again, goes back to Ho'ikaika's partnership. How do we? People must have known something was happening. You know what I mean? And I bring it up, and I'm not ashamed of it. When we were getting beat as kids, my neighbors shut their windows. They didn't want to hear the screaming, And it was just the way. And back then, there wasn't Child Protective Services and Child Welfare.
Right.
All these programs that we have today, thank God. You got to look at the whole pictures. You got to look at the welfare of the child, and don't let that slip through the cracks. Don't wait for the morgue van to show up.
Right.
So, we have an 800 number. It's 800-494-3991, and that is the Child Welfare Service intake line. And they're really good. They'll walk you through. They're very gentle with you. They'll ask you questions. And again, they won't disclose who you are. But
Do
if
they
you,
even know who you are?
what?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they will
okay.
ask you
They'll
who you
ask
are,
you.
but they will not.
But you can say, I don't want to give my
Yeah.
name.
Yes.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
can remain anonymous.
Okay.
They will investigate it. And then if you really feel like you're hearing something that the child's in imminent danger,
Right.
you need to call 911.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Maui Police has an amazing, amazing domestic violence and sexual assault team on this island. These guys are, I unfortunately have to see them a lot at Children's Justice Center. These guys are amazing, and they're very passionate about what they do.
Well, that's good to know.
And they're part of Huikaika partnership as
Yeah,
well.
and
Oh,
they
good.
that team
Okay.
members of that team belong to the partnership. So again, it's getting all these people
You're getting
working.
everybody.
Yeah, anyone in
Yeah.
child abuse and neglect working together.
Right.
We've done wonders. We've now reached out to Molokai, and we've started a Huikaika partnership over there.
Good.
Yes.
The 13th of April will be their second meeting.
It's the second Wednesday of the month, I
Yeah.
believe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I just want to add to what Paul was saying about, when you feel like you need to make a report and you're not sure, it's better to make a report even when you're not sure, because other people might be feeling the same way. And so if there's more people making that report, then CWS, Child Welfare Services, will be like, this is the third call or the fourth call about this family or this child already.
Okay.
We better
So
assign
they-
an
okay.
investigator and really find out what's going on.
I see. Are there cases where one child in the family is the subject of abuse but not the others?
Oh yeah, quite a bit actually, especially with sexual assault. It could be a female with two brothers, and naturally the female is being sexually assaulted. Or it could be a remarried and then not biological brothers sisters, and either one of the parents just gets very stressed out with the behavior of the other child or something. So there's a lot of dynamics that play into it. Yeah, it's not necessarily the entire family.
Interesting. So you could if you know the family, they seem to be a normal family, and yet one is kind of a little different about the way he acts, maybe dresses differently, is kind of I don't want to use the word shy or laid back, more laid back than the others. He's telling you something.
Correct.
Withdrawn.
Yep.
Withdrawn, that's a good word. Yeah. He's telling you something without knowing it.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and the thing is, too, I'm a big advocate. I sit on a panel with the court system and Maui PD and a bunch of DOE, and I also work with a private school here. But, people don't realize, again, it goes back to what I say, we're a punishing country. When a child is angry, why? We have to look at, why is this kid doing this? This is not normal for a 10-year-old child to be acting like this. But guess what? We'll suspend them. Okay?
Yeah, we'll punish
We'll
him.
put them in juvenile court. And I'm not knocking that, because we need to have these things in place. But we really need to look into why is an 8-year-old drunk at school? Okay? Why are they so angry? They're angry about their life. It has nothing to do with the person or people they're taking it out on. It actually, it's all internal. So how do we fix something that's broken? You know what I mean? Before it becomes a broken adult.
Right.
Right.
And again, that goes back to breaking that cycle, part of what Ho'ikaika is. And you've got the FIT
Yeah.
program.
And yeah. So that's where, some of the programs that we have, we start from prenatal up and then 0 to 3. And, all the services of Maui Family Support Services are voluntary, except for one that is funded by the Department of Human Services. We work closely with Child Welfare Services. We used to call it Enhanced Healthy Start program, but we call it Kapu'uvai Onokeki. It means in the heart of the children. These are children who are referred to us by Child Welfare Services, by agencies such as Child and Family Services under the voluntary case management, or Parents and Children Together, who have the family strengthening services. So we provide parenting education. We also have early childhood education centers. We have the Early Head Start program where we work from when a mom or when families are expecting up to 3 years old. And we provide a lot of screenings and assessments and information to help them to increase their parental skills.
You know, I often, whenever we talk about the early childhood things, I keep thinking about the people who say, well, I didn't get a book when he was born. You know, I don't know what I'm expected to do, and I'm just doing what comes naturally. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back and do what's natural.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, be right
Aloha
back.
from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes. Today we're taking the entire hour to talk about preventing child abuse and sexual abuse, which is the month of April is dedicated to. During the and again, we're talking with Adele from Maui Family Support Services and Paul at Friends of the Children's Justice Center. During the break, I asked Adele as if like you know somebody and you think you know them well. We're talking about ladies here because we're going to be talking about birth. When they have a child, that first child, do they sometimes break under the stress of not knowing what to do and when to do it and all that kind of stuff?
Of course, because even though even if you've read a lot of materials or read books about giving birth, the reality is different. When you have a young infant, you lose sleep. You're constantly taking care of someone who don't know, their infants. Can't do it for themselves.
Yeah.
You're constantly feeding, changing diapers, feeding again, and then balance that with, if you have other kids too, balance that with the needs of your other family members. So what we do at Maui Family Support Services, we have a team of intake workers. We call them outreach and resource specialists or early identification, and our intake workers are ORS specialists. They go to the hospital at the Maui Memorial Medical Center and or at the WIC clinics, and they screen parents. They interview parents and ask them about their support system, what their expectations are of their baby, and so on. And then they provide parenting information and a list of resources. And we offer them free services that's funded by the Department of Health and or the other programs that we have, such as the Early Head Start program or the Father Involvement program and our Healthy Families America program or the Kapu'uvai program. And everything is voluntary, and if they are interested to connect with a home visitor, we call them family support workers or parent-child educators, then we enroll them in services. And then within maybe 2 days of referral, a home visitor contacts them and sets up a home visit, and they work together in developing goals for their baby or talking about their strengths, what information they might need. And that home visitor helps them them in, linking with other resources, maybe finding out, where do I go to apply for medical insurance? Where do I go to apply for housing? How do I don't understand this form? Can you help me fill it out? Especially for families who have limited English proficiency, and so our home visitors help families in those areas.
I see. Now, you mentioned a fathering class or something, which is good to see. It's not all about mom. Sometimes dad, he doesn't know what to do either.
Dads get stressed too, of course, because especially if moms are working or going to school, then they're left in the home to take care of a baby. And they are very important too in the lives of babies. So we have the father involvement team. We call it FIT, and we provide one-on-one support for adult fathers or male caregivers. They don't need to be married. It can be boyfriend, girlfriend, and or expectant teen dads. Believe it or not, we have teenagers who are becoming dads, and they're still children, and so they have so much to learn. So we provide that service in Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. So if they want, we do one-on-one support, or if they want to just come to one of the support groups that we do, one is at our office, and then one is through a partnership with Kahaleka'ola Resource Center. Or if they are with Aloha House, we also have a support group at Aloha House.
You're a busy lady.
We are busy, but we do have a lot of committed people who are really, dedicated in helping the families and the children.
Yeah, it's unbelievable all the things that you guys do.
Well, the fatherhood program I want to touch on because I was amazed that there was actually a uncle of a child attending, I think is what Shannon had told me, because he was the only male role model in the child's life. So you don't have to be a parent or even the caregiver, but even just a male presence.
Right. Yeah.
It's offered to, which is great.
It could be a stepdad too, or a grandfather.
Right.
Yeah. We have some grandparents now who are raising their grandchildren because of whatever issues the parents or the children have, if they're incarcerated or if they're using drugs or just, going to school or busy with work, so the grandparents get involved. And so we have a support group for the grandparents as well.
Wow. I just, I think I said to the folks last week from Child and Family Services that I said, you're depressing me. He was talking about kids coming in and you just look at him and go, oh no, who did what to you, kind of thing.
Right.
And I said, okay, I'm sufficiently depressed. And then I said, but yet I'm encouraged by the idea that there's organizations like you who are out there and like Maui Family Support Services and Friends of the Children's Justice Center. You're there to be role models, to help them understand how great life can be if to simplify it and say, if you just relax and enjoy it. Sometimes I wonder if people aren't trying too hard.
Our services are strength-based. We always look at where the families are at, what do they have, who is their current support system. So we don't focus on the negative aspects of their lives, but we start with the strengths that they have, and that's how you build the rapport with the families. Because if you don't have rapport with the families, they will not let you go back in their home next week. You have to have that good relationship with them, so that they'll open up with you. They'll let you know what their challenges are or their concerns are, so then you can continue to support them until the child graduates from our programs.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's important having that strength for the families. I have a niece that has a little 3-year-old, and we're able to fill in those gaps, but some people don't have that. If something comes up or they're both working, her and her husband, it's like, okay, we can take the baby. Well, what if you don't have that option?
Right.
And so that's where, a lot of the programs Maui Family Support Services has are amazing, and all the different agencies that are part of Hawaii Kaika. Even like Amua Family Services, what if the child has special needs, developmental issues? A lot of people don't even know about Amua Family Services, but a caseworker could come in and refer them over there. It could be a hearing thing. It could be anything.
Yes.
So That's the great part of the
Right.
partnership.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me like we've got everything covered here on the island. It's just a matter of knowing who does that particular
Correct.
Right.
piece.
And it helps that we all have a good relationship with each other, and that's what Hui Kaika is promoting. Working together for for the whole community.
Well, if you look at it, we talk about strengthening families. We're strengthening agencies, right?
Right.
So we're strengthening each other by sharing the resources. The same as what we're going to do to a family. We're going to share resources with them to strengthen them. So-
Right. We've got just a few more minutes. You got any last thoughts that you want to share with everybody?
Well, as I was talking about the fatherhood involvement team, I just remembered that we have a big event for the dads coming up in June. I don't have a calendar with me, but it's the week
18th.
after Father's Day. Thank you, Paul. On June 18th, we will be having a celebration of fathers at the University of Hawaii, Maui College at the Great Lawn, and it will be from 1 to 5. We will have great entertainment. The public is welcome to attend. We're able to do this through a special grant provided by the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. So we're fortunate to have that support from them, and all of the families that we serve and our community partners' families will be invited. So pretty soon we will be sending out invitation to all the different agencies that we work with.
Now, if someone just wants to find out more about the Fathers Program,
They can just call our agency, which is 808-242-0900, and they can talk to one of our admin assistants, and they can be connected to one of our outreach resource workers and talk to them about the different services that we provide.
very good, very good.
Yeah.
Paul, you
Yeah.
look like you got something you want to say.
Well, I just want to go over a couple of the events coming up. Naturally, Monday, 9 a.m. at the county front lawn, 200 South High Street. We have Uncle Wayne. Tuesday, we are Maui County, so Lanai is going to do their proclamation, and that'll be at the Dole Administration Building at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, April 5th. And then Wednesday, April 6th, from 3 to 5 at the library on Molokai, they will be doing their proclamation and celebration of Prevent Child Abuse and Month of the Young Child, which it's also Month of the Young Child.
Wow.
And then Saturday, April 9th, is the Keiki Fest. If you have not been to that, please go. It's a lot of fun. And talk about having resources available. There's probably 50 plus nonprofits there sharing all their resources.
Yes.
Face painting, spin the wheel to get prizes, toys. They got all kinds of activities for the children.
Yes.
And it brings in over about 6,000 people come to attend that. So
Yes.
that's a great place for the
Wow.
public to come for resources on that day, April 9th.
And that's again where?
That's at the Maui College on the Great Lawn,
Okay.
April 10th.
April 10th.
Uh-huh.
It's April 9th. I put the wrong date.
It's a Saturday.
She's reading
It's
what
a
I wrote.
Saturday.
She's reading what I
Ah.
wrote. It is April.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah,
That would be the 9th.
it is the 9th. That was a typo on my part.
That was a test.
Yeah. So she's correcting me right now. Thank you, Adele. So that is that's an amazing event if you want to go out and see all the different resources that are available, and have your kids have face painting, castle bouncing. I mean, they've got everything you could think of at that event.
Food booths,
Food
a lot
booths.
of giveaways for the children.
Yeah.
And everybody has a booth to
Yep.
Yes.
All the different
display their
nonprofits.
stuff.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's a great chance for families to bring the kids out, and yet mom and dad can learn a few things of where they can go get help, or if it's not them who needs it, if they know of somebody who does, get some information.
And
for
Odell will
them.
tell you, people walk up to your tent and say, "Oh, you helped my child. Thank you."
There
You'll
you
get
go.
that a lot.
And we see the older kids, and they still remember us, and that's what
That's what it's
fulfills
all about.
our profession. Yes.
Make a difference in the life of a child.
Right.
I'd like to give child welfare service just about the abuse. If I have a quick minute, just to run that 800 number again.
Sure,
Oh,
That's
yes.
okay.
please do.
If you suspect child abuse at all, please call Child Welfare Service Intake at 1-800-494-3991, or as we said earlier, if you feel the child is in imminent danger, call Maui Police at 911.
Very good. And just the other phone numbers again, Maui Family Support Services.
242-0900, or they can go to our website to apply for any of the services. It's www.mfss.org.
And for Friends of the Children's Justice Center?
986-8634. And if you feel you want to, if you have a question concerning is it child abuse or not, feel free to contact us because we'll walk you through it. A lot of people do call us and ask questions ahead of time, and then we will direct them to the right resource or tell them, yes, you need to make a report.
Right.
So,
And like you say, it's better to report and find out there's nothing going on than to not report and have a kid think that's how life is.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that just as you said, continues the cycle.
Yep.
Because that's how they were raised. Thank you both for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us.
You guys do a good dog and pony show.
We are
We work.
partners.
It's partnership. We
That's
work together
partnership.
all the time.
Okay, so and anybody can come on Monday, the April 4th,
Correct.
Yep.
to this event
9
Yes.
a.m.
up in the Maui County Building front lawn. This is the Mayor's Proclamation. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. And come see Uncle Wayne and the Howling Dog Band.
And there will be resource and literature there for people that want to attend.
Yeah,
And representation pretty much of all the people dealing with child abuse and neglect.
great event. And if your child has come home from school and says, we're going to go see the Howling Dog Band,
Volunteer as
it's
a
for
parent.
real.
Yes.
volunteer as a parent and go with them.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you both so much for being with
Thank
us.
you, Susie.
Thank you, Susie.
Really appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you. You too. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Bayshard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org for a list of member agencies. And if you see an agency listed there that you'd like to find out more about, please go to their website and check them out or call the numbers that are listed there to ask your questions. Today we visited with Maui Family Support Services. Adele was telling us all about all the great programs they have. We were also visiting with Paul from the Friends of the Children's Justice Center. If you want more information on their agencies, again, the Maui Family Support Service number is 242-0900 for the family. Hello, why can't I ever get that right? The Friends of the Children's Justice Center, it's 986-8634. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to join us again next week, same time, same place. That's KAOI Radio at noon. It's on 1110 a.m., 96.7 FM, 96.5 FM on the west side, when we'll feature representatives of two other member agencies of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. And I'm going too fast again, aren't I? I have time. I got a minute and a half. I don't understand what happens to my timing.
We can also contact Paul at mauicjc.org. And
Okay.
That's Maui, and then C as in Charlie, J as in John, C as in
Okay.
Charlie.org. And then Adele,
Let's do the child welfare,
the 800
the
number.
800 number one more time.
Sure. Child welfare, you can call 1-800.
494-3991.
And remember, that's if you suspect something is going on.
Correct.
You don't have to have proof of it. You don't have to give your name, anything. Just say
I have
you want
concerns
them to
about
check,
this
want them
child.
to check them out and see what's going on over there.
And you can make a difference in the life of a child.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We want to thank everybody for joining us. My name is Susie Tiemann. I'm the Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific and the host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great week, everyone. Aloha.